Hey guys, it's Tin Ignacio and welcome to my YouTube channel. For today's video, ituturo ko lang sa inyo yung step-by-step kung paano mag-apply as a caregiver dito sa Canada nang walang age limit, no experience, no LMIA, and open work permit. But before we start, please consider subscribing sa aking YouTube channel para lagi kayong updated every time na mag-upload ako ng bagong video or opportunities dito sa Canada. Okay, so for step 1, type natin yung cic.gc.ca, then click natin yung English. Then mapupunta tayo dito sa page na to. Sabi dito, apply to travel, study, work, or immigrate to Canada, apply for citizenship, a permanent resident card, or a refugee protection. Check the status of your application or find a form. Then, pag nandito na nga tayo sa page na to, baba lang natin and hanapin natin yung immigrate. Then, click natin yun. Mapupunta tayo sa page na to. Sabi dito, how you can immigrate to Canada, how to protect yourself from fraud, and what to expect after you arrive in Canada. Then, ngayon naman, scroll down lang natin para hanapin yung word na caregivers. Okay, so yon. So, sabi dito, immigrate by providing care for children, the elderly, or those with medical needs or work as a live-in caregiver. So, click lang natin yan. Then, sabi dito, as a caregiver, you have options to come to Canada to become a permanent resident or work temporarily. So, baba lang natin ulit para mahanap natin yung program. So, nandito yung home child care provider and home support worker, which is yung hinahanap nga natin. Tapos, baba lang natin ulit and magkikita natin na we're still accepting applications under the home child care provider pilot or home support worker pilots. Sabi din dito na you may be able to apply for permanent residence through these pilots if you meet the eligibility requirements and have a job offer to work in one of these occupations. Through these pilots, you'll get an open work permit to come to Canada and work temporarily. So this work permit is occupation restricted, so you have to work in that specific occupation. So ang ibig sabihin lang nito is kahit meron kayong open work permit dito sa Canada, through this program, hindi kayo pwedeng mag-work ng ibang job, like for example, server, mag-work sa Starbucks, sa Tim Hortons as your part-time, kasi kailangan kung ano yung applyan nyo is same dito sa occupation na to. So, kahit iba yung employer mo, basta same job, yung a-applyan mo is okay lang. Next is doesn't need a labor market impact assessment or mas kilala sa tawag na LAMIA. Lastly, lets you get the work experience you need to be eligible for permanent residence. So guys, ito yung isa sa mga ways na ginagawa ng mga kababayan natin dito sa Canada para makapag-apply ng PR card. So, ang gagawin lang nila is mag-a-acquire sila ng qualifying work experience bago sila mag-apply. After nyan, i-scroll lang natin pataas para i-click tong naka-underline. So, since wala pa tayong experience as a caregiver dito sa Canada, hanapin lang natin yung part na may nakalagay na you don't have any qualifying work experience and click natin yon. Tapos, ibaba lang natin and dito na natin makikita yung process kung paano nga i-apply tong program na to or paano mag-apply sa program na to. Click lang natin tong about the process. If you don't have any qualifying work experience, you can apply for permanent residence through the home child care provider pilot or the home support worker pilot as long as you meet the other eligibility requirements. How the process works. Step 1, you apply to either the home child care provider pilot or the home support worker pilot depending on which occupation you plan to work in. You submit a work permit application together with your permanent residence application. If you meet the requirements, you get a work permit to work in Canada temporarily. The work permit you get is an occupation-restricted open work permit and lets you work as a caregiver for any employer. So, gaya ng napag-usapan natin kanina, pwede ka pang mag-work sa iba't ibang employers as long as na same job category yung a-applyan mo. So next is get at least 24 months of work experience to qualify for a permanent residence. So yan yung sinasabi ko kanina. So kailangan natin ng 2 years work experience para makapag-apply tayo ng permanent residence. So after nyan, isend mo lang yung application for permanent residence and then sila na yung gagawa ng final decision. So click naman natin yung who can apply. Okay, so makikita natin dito sa page na to na sabi nila, we're now very close to reaching the application cap for the home child care provider pilot. So kailangan nating madaliin guys para makahabol pa tayo dahil kung hindi, next year na tayo makakapag-apply ulit. So sino-sino nga ba yung pwede mag-apply sa program na to? Ang sabi dito, you may be eligible to apply for the home child care provider pilot or home support worker pilot if you have a genuine and valid job offer, are able to do the job, meet the language level, meet the education requirement, are admissible to Canada, and plan to live outside the province of Quebec. Okay, so i-check natin kung ano ba yung mga ibig sabihin nito. Sabi dito, we use any past experience or training you have to decide if you're able to do the work described in the NOC job description. So yung NOC job description, makikita din to sa website na to. Language levels, you need to take language tests to prove you meet the minimum language skills. So, yung minimum language skills nila na nire-require is CLB5 in English for all 4 language skills, writing, reading, listening, and speaking. Okay, so dumako naman tayo dito sa education. Ang sabi dito, you must have a completed post-secondary education credential of at least 1 year in Canada. If you don't have a Canadian education credential, you need to get your foreign education credential assessed to show that it's equal to a completed Canadian post-secondary education credential of at least 1 year. So, gaya nga ng sabi dito guys, kailangan nating ipa-assess yung ating mga credentials kung comparable ba sa Canadian post-secondary education. Okay, so let's proceed on how to apply. Tell us where you're applying from to find out how to apply. So, where are you applying from? So, outside Canada, click natin yon. So, after natin maklik yon, lalabas na yung mga steps na kailangan natin gawin para tayo makapag-apply. Step 1, get a valid job offer. You need a genuine and valid job offer before you apply. The person who wants to hire you needs to give you the completed offer of employment IMM 5983 for you to sign and include in your application. Okay, so malinaw yun guys ha, na kailangan i-complete ng employer nyo tong form na to para maisama nyo sa application nyo. Step 2, get the instruction guide. If you're applying from outside Canada, use the instruction guide for applicants outside Canada to get the forms you need and to help you fill out the forms correctly. Dito guys, mapapansin nyo na naka-underline yung instruction guide for applicants outside Canada. So, i-click natin yon para basahin lahat yan. Bali guys, hindi ko na i-discuss sa video na to yung instruction guide kasi mapapahaba tong video na to. Bali, yun na lang yung ipapagawa ko sa inyo after nyo mapanood tong video na to para mas lalo nyo maintindihan tong video na to. Pero kapag clinic natin yung instruction guide, ganito yung makikita natin. Bale, nakalagay na lahat sa table of contents para mas madali nyo mahanap yung hinahanap nyo. Okay, so balik na tayo doon. Step 3, complete your application. Fill out the forms on a computer. Some forms have a validate button that helps you check if you completed all the fields in the form. When you're done filling out these forms, click validate. Don't worry guys, kasi pag may nakalimutan kayong i-fill out na field, mag-outline daw ng red, color red, kaya makikita nyo kung ano yung hindi nyo pa nalalagyan. Okay, so after you successfully validate the forms, you'll get a barcode page. Print out all the forms including the barcode pages. Okay, so after nyan, sign and date daw yung all forms. So nag-provide na rin sila dito ng document checklist kung saan pwede nyo itong i-print para ma-check nyo kung ano pa ba yung mga kulang nyo or kung maidadagdag pa ba kayo. At heto yung pinaka-importante na dapat nyong tandaan every time na mag-fill out kayo ng forms dito sa Canada. Kailangan lahat ng questions sa forms sagutan nyo carefully, completely, and truthfully. Okay, so malinaw yan guys ha. Kailangan wag tayo magsisinungaling pag mag-fill out tayo ng forms. Okay, dito sa step 4, pay your application fees. So, eto yung mga babayaran natin sa ating application. Ibaba lang natin ng konti and makikita natin yung you have to pay your fees online. So, click natin yun at mapupunta tayo dito. Where are you paying from? Ganyan. So, piliin natin yung Philippines. What type of application are you submitting? Click natin yung temporary residence. Oops, may nakalimutan ako. Lagay din natin dito yung work permit. Then, click natin yung get payment instructions. Tapos, yan, makikita natin dito na per person, kailangan natin magbayad ng 155 Canadian dollars for work permit. Okay, so ibaba pa natin, makikita natin yung how to pay your fees. Tapos, basahin lang natin yung mga nandyan para malaman natin kung anong gagawin. Tapos, kailangan din natin mag-create ng account or mag-sign in doon kapag magbabayad na tayo dito online. Okay, so balik na tayo sa previous page. Click lang natin yung back. Then, dito na natin makikita yung iba pa nating babayaran. Sabi dito, you have to pay third parties if you need a medical exam, police certificate, language test, or educational credential assessment. So, tandaan natin na tayo mag-shoulder sa ating IELTS and sa credential assessment natin. Okay, so for step 5, submit your application. Make sure you answer all questions, sign your application and all forms, include your fee payment receipt, and include all the supporting documents. Before you submit your application, use the document checklist. So, sinabi ko na yun sa inyo kanina, di ba, na meron silang provide na document checklist para makita natin. And mas malinaw para sa atin kung may mga nakalimutan ba tayo. Kailangan lang natin i-print yon para i-check lang natin kung ano na yung natapos nating i-fill out, ganyan. Kasi guys, once na may nakalimutan tayong form na kailangan nating i-complete or kahit fields man yan na kailangan natin lagyan ng sagot, ibabalik at ibabalik sa atin ng immigration yung ating application. So, meaning, mas tatagal na naman yung application process natin kasi kailangan na naman nating i-send sa kanila ulit and maghintay kung kailan na naman nila i-assess yung ating application. Okay, so once na na-complete na natin yung ating application or nag-gather na natin lahat ng documents na kailangan nating i-send, imi-mail na natin ito sa Case Processing Center in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So, wag po tayo magsisend sa ibang processing center or immigration office para maiwasan rin natin yung mga scammer. Okay, so anong last na gagawin natin? Sabi dito, decision on your work permit application. We make a decision on your work permit application based on whether you meet the eligibility criteria, if you submitted a complete application, and if you are admissible to Canada. Lastly, if your application is approved, you get a letter that says you're allowed to work in Canada. Dalhin nyo yung letter with you when you travel to Canada. So, tandaan natin guys na yung letter na yon is hindi yon yung work permit natin. Dahil makukuha lang natin yung work permit natin once na nakapag-arrive na kayo dito sa Canada. So, that's it for today guys. I hope na maraming matulungan tong video na to sa mga taong gusto makapunta dito sa Canada. So, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!